Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and I just got out of Independence Day Resurgence. Wow, was this movie disappointing. And I don't want to sound like this, but this was actually pretty bad, too. Yeah, you're probably going to hate me for this, but that just needs to be said. Unfortunately, this movie just didn't do it. It didn't do it on any level for me. It's not nearly as good as it should have been. It's not fun at all. It's all just CGI destruction we see in every destruction film. Hell, they even rip scenes straight out of other Roland Emmerich destruction films and put them in this one and call it new. Yeah, there's just way too many characters for you to get invested in. All the old people, you keep asking, why are half of them here? And all of the new stuff is ripped from other films. Case in point, Aliens. Yeah, and I'm going to end up going into spoilers pretty quickly on this one. My final verdict on this one, for those who don't want any spoilers, this is a red box at best. It's almost an outright skip it with how stupid some of this ends up being. But yeah, my final verdict is red box. One second, I just need to make sure I'm ready for this rant. Let's continue. Okay, let's get the basic of the plot out of the way. 20 years after the initial attack, we decide to harvest their systems and upgrade us so they can never touch us again. Yeah, it doesn't really work out. Now that you've got the plot out of the way, yeah, there's no theme or variation here. That's basically the entirety of the plot. In fact, everything you think's going to happen, like they show up, our initial defenses are enough, we make an attack, it fails horribly. Ex Machina, we realize we have another plan on our hands. We do that. Doesn't work out the way we want it to, but eventually works out through the end. That's basically the plot. And there is so much stupid on that way. Because nothing in this movie makes sense if you think about it for 2 seconds. It is just mind-blowing how badly written this movie is. But let's get into the big problem. There's way too many characters in this movie. I mean, seriously, Brent Spiner, what the hell are you doing in this movie? You died in the last one. No, you were apparently put in a coma instead, and now you're drawing symbols on the wall. Wait a minute, isn't the president already doing that? Or former president, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's already drawing symbols. Why not just have him do it? Cut Brent Spiner out and just have him from some tech occasionally deliver a line. We don't need him there, do we? Speaking of unneeded characters, let's talk about Jeff Goldblum's dad, who also returns for this movie, for no fucking reason whatsoever. In fact, his entire existence in this movie opens this ginormous hole that I can't even begin to tell you how many plot holes fall into. But before that, let's talk about some other superfluous characters. Why do we have 3 comic relief characters inside of this movie, outside of the main cast? Yeah, 3 of them. We have Douchey McPerv trying to hit on the Asian lady. We have the Asian lady who really doesn't get more than 5 lines, and most of those are going to fending off McPervface. And we've got the guy in the bunker who's trying to wield a gun next to the machete-wielding warlord. Hell, why was the warlord in this movie? He's in like 3 scenes. What? Oh, and let's not forget about Jeff Goldblum's love interest inside of the movie, who literally disappeared for the 3rd act of this movie. And when she came walking out near the end of the movie, I'm like, holy shit, you were on the base the whole time? Where the hell were you? You were like in none of the other shots with Jeff Goldblum or the general leading the attack. Seriously, where the fuck did you come from? Oh, and it gets worse, people. And this is just the stupidity with all of the main cast. Should I even go into the stupidity of the aliens yet? No. Let's talk about Jeff Goldblum's dad in detail for a second. So not only has he returned inside this movie, he wrote a book about his exploits from the first one that nobody even really remembers. Because he didn't do anything in the first one except, cheer up his son when he was drunk. Yeah, how did you write a book about that? Oh, not only was he giving a big old speech thing to an old folks home, but apparently he magically teleported from that onto his boat inside the Atlantic when the aliens start touching down. He tries to outrun them, and then we get San Andreas, tidal wave scene again. Really? But wait! He doesn't die there. If he had, I probably wouldn't be talking about this at all. But he survives that. He survives a tidal wave where he literally got buried by a ship crate thing. You know, the big old ship with all those shipping crates on it. Yeah, he got buried by that and he survived. Only to be picked up by a bunch of kids, because that's what we needed in this movie. More kids! You know, children actors saying, oh, our parents are dead, and somehow we're driving a Cadillac inside of, ankle deep of water. Somehow it still runs. My car would be shut down at this point, but the Cadillac works. And then he somehow traverses the entire United States to get from the East Coast to Nevada, Area 51, to arrive right when his son is about to initiate a kamikaze plan with the former president to kill the alien mothership. There is contrived, there is the convenient, and then there is this. There's more. So, somehow, this man was able to drive from possibly Washington, D.C., I'm going to assume that he was somewhere in that area, to Area 51, Nevada, which, even for me living in Utah, takes about roughly 2, maybe 2.5 hours to drive. He somehow made that in evacuation level traffic from Washington, D.C. to Nevada in less than 1 day, while driving on fumes. What? The whole time we have kids just whining and crying about all of their dead parents and relatives. Frankly speaking, I don't give a crap, because I've seen this done so many goddamn times. Weren't we just complaining about this inside of Jurassic World about how the kids weren't needed there, and their stupid subplot about their parents being gone or divorced or whatever? That's essentially what this boils down to. But instead of having 2 kids, we initially start out with 4, one complaining about her dead parents and her boyfriend, and then we end up finding a busload of kids outside of Vegas. And we just steal the bus and keep going. Wow. Never mind the fact that we established that he wasn't, fishing, but then he was, and then he somehow survived a tidal wave, being buried underneath a ship, and oh my god, I'm repeating myself, how many levels of stupid is this just for one of the characters? One of them! And here's the thing. You had a perfect setup for him to die off while he was still on his phone with his son. I mean, seriously, Jeff Goldblum knowing that his dad has finally kicked the bucket because he failed, that would have added insult to injury and would have given Jeff Goldblum's character more character. Something for him to build off of, something for him to really come back from, so we can feel that big, hopeful, fuck yeah, America thing at the end, which never comes. Say what you will about the first one, it's stupid. It has plenty of plot holes. Do you want more examples of that? Just look at any number of the critical reviews of it. Seriously. Nostalgia Trick did a versus with it in War of the Worlds. The Nostalgia Critic actually did a full review of it too. Seriously, just go look at any of those to find out just how stupid it is. But there's one thing about that movie that no one can deny. It's fun. It's charming. It does beat us down, but it always gives us hope that we're going to come back from it. This movie doesn't do that. For all of our preparations, for all of our planning, and all of our organizations and unified worlds and speechifying that we did, what did it all come down to? Absolutely nothing. The aliens still come back. We barely posed the threat to them. They were able to bait us into a trap because we were somehow overconfident on our technological level, which doesn't make any goddamn sense. And yeah, we basically lose everything that we built up within the first 20 minutes of this movie, with all of the characters just completely scattered everywhere. We have the former president's daughter, who is now the Secretary of State. She's a little young for that job. I think there's a prerequisite of being in your late 30s, early 40s, somewhere around there. she's in Washington, D.C., but she gets flown around to New York, and then she goes to fucking Area 51 where she stays. We've got Liam Hemsworth and the kid who's supposed to be Will Smith's son from the first one, played by Jesse Taylor, out inside of the fucking moon, who end up flying to London, and then there's the fucking Jeff Goldblum inside of Africa, and you have his dad somewhere magically teleporting from book release to on boat, and god damn it, there's just too much going on! When you look at the first one, what was happening? You have 3 locations. You've got everybody converging at the White House. You've got the pilots who are initially doing the attack with Will Smith. And then you have all the people at Area 51. There's really only 3 things that we have to follow here. But here we've got like 4 or 5 going in different directions. People dying off, They even go back for the whole, save her mother thing with Will Smith's son. And he tries to and watches her follow her death. I don't think she actually died in the original cut of the script either. Just I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, there's way too much going on. And then we have the stupidity of the aliens. Oh my god. Okay, first off, they are a ripoff. And, what are you talking about? They're not a ripoff. We saw them in the first one. No, we didn't see the Queen in the first one. We saw the Queen in this one, and the first thing that popped in my head when I saw this picture was the Queen from Aliens. In fact, they basically took the entire palette of that, and just, instead of painting her black, they painted her, like, puke skin color. It's really disgusting. And their whole plan, the whole time, was apparently to drill to the Earth's core to harvest the core somehow and power their ships and grow their alien drone thingies. If that was their plan the entire time, why did they send the smaller ships the first time? Why didn't they just send a harvester ship like they did in this movie last time? Because they needed the harvester to harvest our planet, didn't they? Because that was the intent, and somehow only one ship from the last thousands of ships they had in the last movie, or probably only hundreds, whatever, the little sandile things, only one of them attempted to drill to the Earth's core in Africa of all places? What? And that's just looking at this movie in hindsight, because that's the thing about sequels. You have to take into account both movies when doing this, so that you could actually, really see the big picture here. The problem is that it doesn't make any sense with anything that we saw in the last movie. You had 20 years to seriously come up with this shit, and this is the best you got? And it only gets worse. So let's all just take one thing we know about this ship that's non-spoilers, that their alien ship is so fucking massive that it literally has its own gravitational force. Let's break that down for a second. Now, I don't know if many of you actually remember your high school science and astronomy classes, but I do. And celestial mechanics would state that if it had enough gravity, that it was literally sucking shit up, like we saw it doing inside of this movie, it would have enough gravity to literally push Earth out of its orbit, either towards the sun or away from it, depending on the trajectory of the ship. Which we basically mean we're dead. We're fucked. There's nothing that we can do at that point. Yeah. Just to give you the level of stupid in this movie. But okay, let's just say that the gravity thing just went away, like it did in the movie. Literally, after they land the ship, the gravity just stops working. Was it just an artificial gravity that they were creating? Or was it actually generating its own gravitational field? Which, anybody who knows anything about gravity knows that we are all generating our own gravitational field, and it really just depends on which is bigger, like the planet I'm standing on. But regardless, let's just forget the whole gravity thing ever happened like in the movie. Let's just go over the aliens themselves. They baited a trap, assuming that we'd somehow have a scanner that could pierce their ships, which they shouldn't really think that we have at this point, but let's just say that they did, and that we would somehow come up with the idea that they are hive-based. Do I even need to go into how many rip-offs that is? Hell, I'll just post a picture of the Zerg, who are also known as the Hive. Overused, but okay. So somehow, this alien baited a trap, had shield generators that were strong enough to survive cold fusion explosives. I repeat, cold fusion explosives. And then just sits there and does nothing until we activate a Deus Ex Machina robot thingy, and then it does stuff. Why didn't it start attacking beforehand? No, it was pretty clear. In the last movie, they knew how to track all of our signals via our satellites and shit. They knew how to, figure out where our army bases were and start to strategically take them out. They went after Area 51. You didn't think they mentioned this in the distress call that they sent out apparently 20 years ago, and it took 20 years to answer it. They didn't think to do anything at all. And then we get into the plan that ends up stopping him. So the humans figure out pretty quickly that they're tracking this robot sphere thing that we found on Earth, or on the moon after we shot what we thought was their scout ship down. It turns out it wasn't. It was someone trying to evacuate our planet so that we could form a resistance to fight these things. But that's neither here nor there. That's sequel baiting territory that's so childish and meandering that I'm not even going to give it credit and actually acknowledge it. We come up with a plan to basically fake the signal that this thing is generating so that they can lure the queen to an isolated area and close her inside of a shield and then set off a bunch of those cold fusion nukes in her face. They blow up in the queen's face. And somehow, even though it destroyed her entire ship, she walks away unscratched. Because she had a personalized shield. She had a personalized shield that can withstand nukes times 10. Blown up literally inches from her face. How are we not already dead? I'm sorry, their ships should be impervious to any form of weapon at this point. If their shields are so powerful that they can survive this kind of a hit at point blank range, for God's sake, when they didn't even know that they were about to go off. There's really no reason why we should win. Wait. We can't make the shields that powerful because once she starts chasing down the school bus full of kids because idiot father characters in this movie and he just showed up right as we were going to do all this shit. No. We have the fighters just start shooting at her with their alien guns and they just magically start piercing it. Because don't ask questions. But wait, that's not enough. Apparently the biosuit that they all wear, the Queen's, is strong enough that it can survive direct fire from these things that were blowing up all of their ships earlier. Again, and just FYI, the Queen is literally as tall as Godzilla at this point. Yeah, she's Godzilla, she's got a giant hand cannon, and she's just going to town, somehow shooting down these ships that are moving way too fast for you to actually fucking aim at them. But whatever. But even then, her armor is strong enough to start taking these hits until the characters do some bullshit by activating stupid speed drive to get them out of a stupid circular loop. That's bullshit. And then they just start unloading inside of its back because that's where the weak spot is, I guess. And yeah, they managed to kill it. That's the end. That's the streamlined version of this entire movie for you. It's so contrived. The characters have no reason to be here half the time. Seriously, did you remember that I mentioned that Jeff Goldblum had a girlfriend inside of this movie? Who's not his girlfriend, but ends up being with him because they had some flings inside of a previous event that we never got to see. Apparently there was a ground war inside of Africa that lasted for 10 years with the remnants of the aliens that we never got to see. And now the warlord's there who does a couple of killing things and then he's never seen again. Brent Spiner is being Brent Spiner for God knows ever. They show his ass. There's so much stupid going on. There's so many people. I can't get invested in everything because it literally feels like homework that I'm trying to jot down. Like, okay, he's here, they're there, I've got to do this. Okay. If I had to compare it to another movie that did something similar, I'd have to say that it was probably this year's equivalent of Jupiter Ascending. I know that is fucking harsh, but it is. But even in Jupiter Ascending's case, at least they were trying to homage everything they were ripping off. This movie was just ripping it off because it didn't know what else to do. Seriously, why not just the aliens just want to kill us because we stopped their invasion the first time. They want to look for a new planet to repopulate. Cliched, yes, but at least it makes a little bit more sense considering what they did in the first movie. In this one, they want a power source by draining our planet. Why don't they drain all of the other planets in our solar system first? A lot of them have molten cores too. In fact, I'd argue that they get bigger power sources if they went after something like Jupiter. But no, we had to go after Earth because the other ship got shot down. Now, personal, right? Okay, but you have a bigger power source right over there. You could, take care of it first and then come after us. It's perfectly fine. You want to stock up on your energy and make sure you're at full power before you have to go fight. It just makes sense considering that we actually did take down one of your motherships the first time. Just saying. It took 6 people, 5 writers and Roland Emmerich, to come up with this nonsensical bullshit. I can't be invested in anything that's going on because it doesn't seem like it knows what to do with any of them. Like I said, Jeff Goldblum's dad in this movie should have died inside of that tidal wave. It would have given Jeff Goldblum character and would have had a point for the female love interest that he consoles in her. That they start to film this bond because of the end of the world and shit. The first movie actually made you feel the nationalism. Made you feel yes, we can do this. We're going to take them down. Urgh. This movie doesn't, because we know we're going to take them down. That it's just programmed in. It's a sequel from the first one, and they're going to take them down. If we really wanted to build the tension and everything inside this movie, we should have lost. Yeah, have us lose. Have us throw everything we got at it, and have a few people, maybe 100,000 plus the main cast and a couple of the old people who want to return, get saved by alien orb thingy who explains to them that these things are parasite on the universe and that they are trying to build a resistance from all the people who are fallen to, fight back. There's your plug for the third movie. And it does make us actually want to feel that nationalism again because they're going to give us a second round at this. We're not invincible. Build up the tension. It's okay to have a bad ending if you have a plan. The problem is there was no plan here. All of our plans were basically bullshit before. So, yeah. This movie, it's a rental at best. There's so much more I could go into on this movie and just rant for hours. But you know what? I'm not going to even give this movie credit because it was meh. At best, it was meh. The effects are basically standard fare. Most of them just rip-offs from much better alien movies. There's too many characters for us to get invested. The story is nonsensical, and if you think about any of it for 5 seconds, it just doesn't work. Yes, the first movie, if you think about its plot or anything that's going on, it's almost as nonsensical, but you had Will Smith's charm and his chemistry with bantering back and forth with Jeff Goldblum that actually saved the movie. And in this one, we don't have that because Will Smith was busy at the time. So we had to kill off his character and hope that a teenager could actually replace him because that works out so well. Yeah, my final verdict is this is a red box. Don't waste your money in the theaters. Seriously, go see something else. Go see Civil War again. I'd like to recommend other things, but honestly, this last couple of weeks has not been very good. I can't think of any real movies to go see, maybe except for Finding Dory, which I still need to see. I know it's coming. I'll see it. But yeah, there's nothing else to say about this one other than just kind of beating the stupidity horse because there's so much stupid in this movie. I swear to God, they're going to get pulled over because how fast they're going. Yeah, my final verdict is red box. And that's it for me. Did you enjoy the video? Have you seen Independence Day Resurgence? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and maybe we'll get some healthy discussion going. And as always, if you liked what you see, be sure to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and share this video with your friends. Be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitch and Twitter, and yeah, that's it for me, so I'll see you all next time.